Welcome back. Today we're going to be going through an Andy Beshear versus JD Vance election prediction. We'll be starting off with this map. As you can tell here, things look a little bit different than they usually do. We changed a couple states from the likely to lean rating, that being the three states of Iowa, Ohio, and Texas. Other than that, though, the map looks very similar, but we'll be going through each of the swing states. We'll start with the smallest and end with the biggest by electoral college vote. So that means we're going to be starting with the swing district here in Nebraska. That one I feel fairly confident in putting into the Democratic Party's column. Harris was able to win this district in 2024, and that was not a good year for Democrats. So I think that in an environment that right now is looking a lot better for Democrats, with a more favorable environment in general, that it would probably expand upon her lead in the district and result in one more one more electoral college vote. And that means next up we're going to head over to Nevada. Nevada, I'm going to put that in the same rating as well. The state of Nevada, I think, will be a pretty easy one for Democrats to win back. They did lose it in 2024, but my guess is that many of the trends that helped that occur have since been reversed. We've seen some key voting demographic groups shift away from Republicans and Trump in general due to some primarily economic concerns, but a couple of reasons, and I think that will be enough to put Democrats at least in a slightly more favorable light. That will result in a Democratic victory in Nevada. And then next up, we're going to get to Arizona. Arizona, I'm going to put in the tilt blue margin. I think it will be narrower, but I still think this state will go blue if the election were to be held today between these two candidates. And then next up, we'll head over to the state of Wisconsin. Should have done Wisconsin first, but I'm going to put it into the lean blue margin. I think this is reasonable. I think it's probably Democrats' best hope as far as a Rust Belt state to win. And then that means next up we're going to Michigan. I'm going to do a similar rating there. That brings Beshear up to 268 to JD Vance's 219. And that means we just have Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania left. I'll end with Pennsylvania. Weirdly enough, I think that this might be the first time I call North Carolina for Governor Beshear. He's won as a Democrat in a somewhat neighboring state to North Carolina, Kentucky, that is quite a bit harder for Democrats to win. And it was a different race. It wasn't the presidential, it was the gubernatorial election, which has some different metrics involved and whatnot. But I still think this is going to be the first flip, or the first pickup from a seat that I previously had called for JD Vance to go into Andy Beshear's column. So that's going to be North Carolina. Georgia, I might be even willing to put in the lean margin, but for now we'll keep it in tilt. This state, much more realistic, went to Biden in 2020, so Democrats know it's possible. Both of these states also are looking like they will re-elect and then elect a new Democratic senator, the new one from the state of North Carolina, and that is looking like the most likely situation. And then Pennsylvania, I do think Pennsylvania is JD Vance's best hope. But ultimately, I think if the other two Rust Belt states are voting blue by that margin, I do think Pennsylvania will be narrow, but that is going to be the call there. This is definitely a blowout election for the Democrat, Andy Beshear. I think he'd be a strong candidate Democrats could put forward. This isn't necessarily a prediction that he'll win the primary. Lots could happen. We're still quite a ways out from 2028. But for now, between these two candidates, if the election were to be held today, this is going to be my prediction. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.